So it turns out Second Wind is doing their own directs now. I mean, I watch them all the time, or to be more accurate, I watch Yahtzee almost religiously. He may be old, long-housed, and frankly not that funny anymore, but I still watch him for some ungodly reason. So sure, I can take a look at this thing. Yeah, I should be studying for finals, but who needs good grades when you have new games on the Nintendo Switch family of systems? We begin with a countdown. Can I call this an omen? Once the presentation actually starts, it comes packaged with an opening animation that feels eerily similar to a real Nintendo Direct. I figured Second Wind would be edgier than this. Hall Rupture kinda looks a little bit like that FTL, faster than light game that I remember a lot of people gawking at about a decade ago. Oh, but this one caters to Luddites. And here's the man himself, Ben Croshaw. Good to see him, except he's a little, animated, and it looks off compared to the standard CP/FR slideshow. Inkblot. I dig the art style, I really do, but of all genres, why a point and click? That genre became woefully outdated 30 or so years ago. Cutout Village looks like The Sims if it was Paper Mario. Interesting concept, but I'd rather do that in real life with real paper, which they give you the option to do, so there's the way to play it. Or play it on the Nintendo Switch because that's the only real option when the option is available. Voidling Abyss looks like one of those really simple beat-em-ups for kids, the kind that was everywhere during the late 7th and early 8th generation. But I saw some air combos, so there could be a smidgen of worth in it. Little Land seems to have a little bit of classic 2D Zelda in it, but other than that it's a farming sim. Montabi is a roguelike card game, and it's not gonna be the only one, so buckle up. Liminal Point looks like an isometric Resident Evil type thing. I'm not that big on horror games and especially isometric camera angles, so this looks like hot crap to me, but I like the guitar at the start. Map. See, I like exploring 3D spaces, but only when there's some sense of danger or depression, and this is a cozy game. Tier, a tank game, set in Breath of the Wild. I don't care too much for tanks. Prison of Husks is a Souls-like with PlayStation graphics. Guaranteed hit in Femboy Discord servers and nowhere else. But that one line, Vessel, Born of Desire, I swear I've heard that before. Next up is the stunning world premiere of Beards Go Underground. An all-new roguelike deck builder about digging a hole and blowing things up. It's Minesweeper. Oh, and this presentation, like most recent Second Wind videos, was sponsored by PlayTracker. Here's the thing, I see this, and playlist, and backlog, and glitch wave, and I still think they all pale in comparison to the original backloggery, because that one was meant to save you money instead of fostering a community to make you go out and buy more games that likely won't all be on the Nintendo Switch family of systems. This next game is called Punk, and the only thing that comes to mind when I look at it is Ika-chan. Even my notes just say Truckful is a cozy game where you drive a truck and deliver packages. It's like Death Stranding, but without all the stuff that makes Death Stranding. Please watch the artwork is a Spot the Difference game where a bunch of public domain artwork is tweened in Photoshop. It looks like a mobile game, because it is. But it's also available on Nintendo Switch. Give Nintendo your money and soul. Pete's Apocalypse 2, the sequel to the Gumball Flash game. It looks an awful lot like Super Mario Odyssey. Glass House. Yeah, I need to play Disco Elysium. I got it for free on Epic. Guns and Goblins. This is just nuts. Wad. Monomoon is Animal Well, but you move things with the mouse and the art style is tooth-weakeningly cute. /Zero. Not only is this a roguelike, but it also has that low-budget 3D anime art style that Scarlet Nexus had. Last Night Last Call is a bartender game, and I liked what I've played so far of Valhalla, so I'll consider it. Either and Iron is a turn-based strategy detective game. The setting is fantastic, but can we start making games that focus on gameplay again? And why are you showing it here if it's already out? Celeste is an entire game built around cozy fishing. Wow, amazing. It's literally a game that's just meant to be played in the background, like Balatro. Also, this is the point where the live chat noticed that there was only one furry game so far. And then we get this goofy little skit with the other Second Wind guys trying to figure out if their world has fall damage or not. You know, I've hardly branched out beyond fully ramblomatic on this channel. Maybe I should watch their other stuff, like Adventure is Nigh. Forbidden Solitaire. I'm into this 90s FMV looking trailer, and I used to be big on grinding my daily solitaire on the YouTube playables, but this is a mobile game and it belongs on mobile. And despite my interest in it, I still have to put it up there with the other card games. 13Z. Take everything I said about Voidling Abyss and double it. It looks even more generic, but there are even more air combos to the point where if there weren't so many circles on the ground I'd almost call it the next Devil May Cry. Into the Fire. You play as a fireman. That's about all I gathered. Echo Breaker looks like Hades meets Sands of Time. I'd be interested in it, but it's isometric and that will always be a deal breaker. Dark Scrolls is one of those multiplayer party 2D platformers that everyone will jump on for 3 minutes and then forget about forever. Like Micro Mages or Contra Operation Beluga. But not Super Mario Bros. Wonder. That one is eternal. Greetings from Elri. Isn't that Robert Rodriguez's studio? Anyway, this is Fez. But Noir. Band of Crusaders is a turn-based RPG that seems to be funded by every taxpayer in Europe. I wish our tax dollars went to making video games and not Iranian wars or quality leering centers. Or better yet, how about no taxes at all? Chasm Shift looks neat. It's a 2D puzzle platformer that focuses on dashing. I'm sold. Berry 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 is another game that's already out. In fact, it's so already out that its advertisement focused on all the positive reviews it got on Steam and from Vinny Vinasauce. Fright Train. Finally, we get another furry game. And that's about all I've got on it. It just looks like another survival horror game but you play as a dog. Forge of the Fae is another Chrono Trigger type game and for some reason they left out the ATB system and the positioning stuff that made Chrono Trigger work. Why?
Yeah, Chrono Trigger. Chrono. Was the Tomodachi text-to-speech thing really the best option? Is this really how I wanted to tell the story? I mean, I guess that's really all that really works for it.
And here's another guy from Second Wind. He's advertising Adventure is Nigh. Right. I don't care about podcast. Rats. Couch Planes. I hear plane game and the first thing I think of is rail shooters. And I love me some rail shooters. But this ain't a rail shooter. Iron Nest is a game where you plan a turret. And it looks like you don't even get to see what's going on. My notes tell me to sing War Pigs. So,
Politicians hide themselves away. They only started the war.
Lucid looks really fun. I assume it's a Metroidvania and I always love those. Almost always. Prelude Dark Pain is a turn-based strategy game. I'm not touching one of those unless it's Disgaea, I mean Fire Emblem. Soundgrass. Okay, for someone who values fast-paced arcadey gameplay above all else, I'm way more of a sucker for walking sims than I logically should be. On the flip side, classic beat-em-ups are a genre that I'm way less into than I logically should be, especially considering the game I'm developing. And also, why are they making a game about the Toxic Crusaders? And why is the music so awesome? Oh, and it's on the Nintendo Switch, so you have to get it. Yes, you, the viewer. Compress space. I swear I've seen this game before, probably on Isley Puzzles. Stormforge. Yeah, I'm into action RPGs, but this isn't an action RPG, it's an action RPG, if you get what I mean. Nocturnal 2 is a 2D platformer with a beautiful art style and what looks like a wicked combat system. I should check out the first one. Mini Tank Mayhem is Bloons Tower Defense but in 3D and with a truckload of lag. Horticular is a cozy game coming to Nintendo Switch. I will set my anti-cozy game biases aside because it's coming to Nintendo Switch. Next we have a Han Solo Frozen in Carbonite Simulator. Why was that the first thing that came to mind? I haven't cared about Star Wars in years. After a disclaimer that there's gonna be some good stuff in this game, it becomes slender the 8 pages. It's called I Am Ripper, which tells me the protagonist is gonna end up being the villain the whole time. There, now you don't have to play it. Hori Plant. Once again advertising a game by showing all of its positive Steam reviews. These presentations are for new games, not games that have already been out. Get your keister back on over to giving out review copies. Don't let it starve. So many indie survival horror games. Charming Hill. Welcome back. Color a Dinosaur. Distant Shore. Don't touch that counter. It's actually a first-person platformer inspired by Mirror's Edge and that's actually awesome. Yahtzee's own game, Starstruck Vagabond, is coming to Nintendo Switch too. Or not. Darn it. Ghost Vanguard reminds me a lot of what I want the game I'm developing to eventually become, with one major difference. This is a roguelike with all the combos being run items. I just wrote again for the next 2 games so I'm gonna skip them. BPM Bitcrushed is a spin-off of the rhythmic roguelike FPS BPM Bullets Per Minute. It got rid of the FPS part, thankfully, but now it's a Vampire Survivors clone. The Melty Way is a more puzzle-oriented Super Meat Boy. I should play more Super Meat Boy. Cleaner Company. What a fun-sounding game. I know Yahtzee likes his Power Wash Simulator, but seriously, screw off. Mexican Ninja. Taco Rise. The game. Let's build a dungeon. Wasn't this in the 2024 Tokyo Game Show Sense of Wonder Night? I swear it was there. And how did they get away with drawing Cloud Strife? Although I actually want to go deeper into Polyarmory. Not only is that a funny name, but it lives up to it. It's an FPS where you have sex with your guns. The entire trailer was just the dev team apologizing for what a cursed thing they had brought upon this land, and I don't think they apologized enough. Oh, and they also threw in a bunch of streamers reacting to it, which means it's already been out for God knows how long and therefore doesn't belong here. But at least it's free. After Hell Freeze is over. My first thought was The Thing. My second thought was D2. Sacrifier. Is it turn-based? Is it real-time action? Is it Xenoblade? All I know is that it's super hot. Exorcist Hotline. You're gonna learn why co-op doesn't work with survival horror the minute someone farts on comms and shatters the tension like my dad shattered that glass bowl full of screws. Although looking back at the start of the trailer, maybe that's what they were aiming for. Surfpunk. I got nothing. Starfinder Afterlight. Another Disco Elysium clone, but this time, with bugs. The Transylvanian Adventure of Simon Quest. Available for Nintendo Switch. Excellent name, and it's nice to see some classic Vania representation even if I prefer the IGA stuff. but it looks like it might be taking a bit from the real Simon's Quest, and that worries me a bit. Bits and Bops is a bargain bin Rhythm Heaven. It would have been a no-brainer, but Rhythm Heaven Groove is coming out this year. But this does have custom levels, so I could throw on some at the gates if I wanted to. Don't fall. Oh, isn't this great? We're back to the ragdoll streamer bait era of indie games, aren't we? Also, the music sucked. Perfect Tides is yet another point and click, but it's coming to Nintendo Switch, so sure, why not? Mad Metal. Man, I have got to play Twisted Metal, I mean Carmageddon. Knuckle Paradise looks like an isometric final fight. Once again, however, I don't care for isometric games unless it's Super Mario RPG. And Yahtzee's back to tell us that the presentation is over, and to shoo us off, he blows raspberry. How tasteful. Well, that was a disappointment. There were a few good announcements, but they were all platformers of some variety. Just about everything else was some guys trying to do their own take on Quake, or Diablo, or Harvest Moon, or Planescape Torment, or Dark Souls, or Slay the Spire. Even the stuff I liked was aping Super Metroid. That's the problem I have with indies. There's not a lot of originality, and the games they clone, other than Metroid, are the wrong ones. Where's Star Fox? F-Zero? Shadow of the Colossus? That's not to say indie clones of those don't exist, but they're few and far between compared to the massive pile of Earthbound knockoffs, which I was pleasantly surprised in not seeing any here, though I assume that's because there's too much buzz around Deltarune and nobody wants to compete with that. So yeah, forgive me for focusing more on AAA releases than tiny indie ones. Why are you looking at me like that? Do I have something on my face?